Yo, what's up, y'all? This is Eliseo Way. Hey, thanks for stopping by my channel. Well, why am I saying thanks for stopping by my channel? This is a live stream. Thanks for coming on to my channel. And this is Content Ecosystem. On this channel, we focus on content creation, monetization, and collaboration. I like that too. I think I might add that to the channel tag. I don't know. We still working on that. We still working on that piece. But shout out to everybody who is live with us tonight. We got 4 people watching, so that's actually about 4 people more than usual at this time in the live stream. So I'm grateful for that. But yeah, so we live tonight, and this is a fairly new series called Creators on the Come Up. Been blessed to have some dope creators come through. So really happy about that. And that does not change tonight. We have one of the dopest content creators in the content creation game right now. If you don't know who she is, you're going to learn very soon because her name is blowing up in the space. And I'm just glad to have her on the show and get her just, coming on my show, or kind of a little bit, I won't say early in her game, but compared to where she's going to go, it's definitely early in her game because she's blowing up. So we're not going to prolong the time. Don't want to let y'all know this show is sponsored by Ecamm Live now. They're the newest sponsor of the show. If you don't know what Ecamm Live is, they're basically the broadcasting software that takes care of everything that you see. So Ecamm Live is super dope. It's a drag and drop, plug and play software. It's like live streaming for dummies. That's kind of like what I like to tell my friends. It's so easy to use. Anybody can use it. So definitely check out Ecamm Live. I'll have some links in the description. Also, TubeBuddy. TubeBuddy is the best software for content creators on YouTube. If you're serious about growing your channel, TubeBuddy is the way to do that. They're basically a Chrome extension that you can use for your channel to get analytics and just all type of really good data to help you grow your channel and figure out your audience and different things like that. So shout out to TubeBuddy and Ecamm Live for the sponsorship. So without further ado, we're going to get right into the show and introduce our new content creator that's coming on the show today. None other than Diana Gladney. One moment here.
Creators on the come up.
Hey, well, look at there. Who do we have here?
What's going on, brother Eliseo? Good to see you.
Hey, yeah, likewise. Thanks for coming on the show. I really appreciate that. Out of all the things you could be doing right now, and I know you have a whole lot you could be doing. You know what I'm saying? You found it not a robbery to put me on your schedule.
You know what? Already.
You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna cut up tonight, and we're just gonna really, to be honest with you, we actually kind of like over the last, I would probably say when did you think we kind of got kind of tight? Probably since the Vlogmas.
December.
Yeah, probably
Vlogmas for sure. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Vlogmas. So before that, I was just a fanboy, you know what I'm saying? And then I became like a little bit closer, you know what I'm saying? Thanks to Vlogmas. Shout out to Doc Rock, the Let's Get Live group. We kind of all became like a family up in that joint. So that's when she became sis, you know what I'm saying? That's my sister from another mister now, you know what I'm saying? But don't get it twisted, because I still got to book my appointments on the schedule now, you know what I'm saying? I hit her up. I'm like, can you be on the show? She like, look, send me a calendar, or it ain't going down. So
that's right. If it ain't on the calendar, it don't get done.
It don't get done. I appreciate that. So yeah, this is really kind of like an unscripted type show. I know better. Like a lot of live streaming tell me, well, you got to have a run of show and all these things. But I really like to keep this show unscripted because I just kind of like the way some of the conversations go. Like you've tuned in a couple times, and I love just having like a free flowing conversation. So is that cool?
Yeah, 100%.
All right, dope. So I know a lot about your story. I won't say a lot, but I know a decent amount about your story. Why do I have this still up? Let me get my ugly mug off of here. Yep.
Brother.
Yeah.
It's your show, man. It's your show.
So yeah, I know a little bit about you, but for someone who doesn't know who you are, and probably maybe there's a few people on my channel who really honestly don't know who you are. If you could just maybe, even though you're well documented, if you could just introduce yourself to people who may not have never heard of you before.
Sure. My pleasure. My name is Diana Gladney. I am a native out of St. Louis, Missouri. I am somebody that's the youngest of 6 children, an aunt to over who knows how many now. It's like 18 plus last time I counted, plus a great auntie. So, we just believe in the first part of the Bible, just be fruitful and multiply. I guess that's all we ever read. So, I have no children. I'm just a fantastic aunt, enjoying disposable income. So when it comes to video, though, I actually got started in video probably, well, not really getting started in video, but I would say my journey started, man, it's been about 5 years or so ago now, for real, getting started, just from, wanting more, working at the bank, and just having a revelation after really having like a life-threatening surgery where, one day you're feeling fine and then the next day you're not. And 16 months later, I was in excruciating pain every single day. And so going from specialist to specialist, doctor to doctor, and you kind of get to that point, you're like, man, what the heck is really going on? Wind up having emergency surgery, finding out that I was almost close to death, and right there on the table and stuff like that as well. And
Wow.
that waking up from that experience with my mom and the doctor, and they showing you all these papers and what could have happened, and all of what was going on, and you're like, I'm like 20 something. What are you talking about? I'm in the prime of my life. I'm like, fix it and move on, right? But that didn't happen. And so waking up from that, what woke me up to a lot of things, and just on a journey to find my purpose, and that wind up putting me on the trail of video.
Man, I got to have something for that. I got to figure that part out, because that's good. You know what I'm saying? We got these Rodecaster Pros. I got to get that real deep, like, you know what I'm saying? Whatever that's going to be. I got to figure that out. I got to put that on the list. But that, I've heard you kind of allude to that story before, but I don't think it quite hit like you just said it there. And that's pretty phenomenal. I actually had, what just talking about that reminded me of a couple weeks ago. I had Henny the Business on my show, and he did something on his channel. Not saying you have to do it or nobody had to do it, but he did something that reminded me of your story just now, and where he I think he said he was around like 10 or 20,000 subscribers. And he did this video on his channel where he was talking about how he got to where he got, and like the real hard things that he had to like overcome to get there. And I think that would be dope. Do you have that documented somewhere, like about that whole story?
I had an old video that I thought about doing, but it was still like, so when you go through experiences like that, the thing is, it's like if you're hearing somebody share about it and they're able to get very granular with it, they've grown through a lot of things with that experience, because it not only changes you, but it changes the way you think about yourself. Yeah. And so I did an old video, but I winded up unlisting. I think I maybe deleted it, but I'm not sure. But I did it, but I unlisted it because it just wasn't right. The closest thing would be, I think it was like close to a year after I quit my job, and sharing what that experience was afterwards. Yeah. But I don't have a video that shares what that experience was before. Wow. And so I think it will be important to share that. But the thing is, like, over the years after you go through an experience like that, it's like, because it changes you, it changes how you think about yourself, it changes how you look at your purposeful work and things like that. So it's like that, and that I just wasn't at a place where I was comfortable talking about it. I would mention like I have challenges with endometriosis, but I wasn't ready to like fully go there. It's really only been like in the last year and a half that I've really been able to be more open about it, because it's like a level of acceptance of what happened. You know what I'm saying? It's like when you get to the point to where it's some of that stuff where it's like, man, you could have died, or man, that could have took me out. It's like could have and almost are very different worlds apart. Wow. And it's like the more that you recognize, like it is a very fine line between being here and not being here. And it's like when that gravity really, really hits you, it completely changes the way you look at life. And so I'd be more comfortable doing it now than if I had done it before. But that is something that, I could definitely consider doing for sure. Yeah, that's lit, because so many people, it's so many content creators out here, but what really separates us from each other? And it's our stories, you know what I'm saying? So our stories are what separate us. And I know that would be a huge, just huge encouragement. I know it is to me, just to kind of hear that backstory. So shout out to you for that, for living through that. You lived through that. Amen. All glory go to God for that one. 100%. I honestly don't really know what endometriosis is, but I'm gonna look it up. I've heard you say it a few times, and just not being, me being lazy, I haven't. Most people don't. It's one of those things where it's like until you're dealing with it, or somebody that you know closely is dealing with it, it's a unspoken disease where, not to get too graphic, but for women that have their cycle and stuff like that, your body goes through this process to do what it does. Yeah. Okay. Well, imagine that same tissue that you're expelling, all those same things going on outside of where it should be. So behind the uterus, on the ovaries, you have flesh and tissue and stuff like that that's growing. So you're in an extreme amount of pain, and eventually your system just kind of becomes locked up and you can't move or do
Wow.
anything. It's very painful. So,
Wow.
and it's just like you can have surgery, and there's some women that have surgery every year to just kind of try to clean things out, and so you can have some mobility and quality of life, but it's no cure for it. So it's just something you have to deal with.
And you know, and that just really speaks to your ability to push through, because that's still obviously something you still deal with, correct? Or no?
Every day.
Oh, wow.
Every day.
So I mean that really speaks to, you know, just your the will to push through and create content, you know. And it's crazy when we were in a coaching session, something that, you know, I just sticks with me with the whole I create content like my life depends on it. That's something that really is probably going to stick with me for the rest of my life, because it just was like, you know, I feel you on that. You know what I'm saying? Because, you know, with all of us, it could be our last day making content, and what would be the mark we left on the world. So I just love that type of mindset. So that is awesome, man. So it's really good to hear that backstory. Just kind of want to shout out some people in the chat, because I got to get better at that. I got a whole overlay made for chat. So let's go here. Officially unofficial. What's up, Prima? She's checking me out for the first time. Woo! Hold on. Do I got some claps for that? No, that's the wrong one. I got to figure out a way. Yeah, there we go.
I got you, bro. I got you.
Okay, you got me. I appreciate you. Yeah, that's love. So, and we got James Hicks in the chat. What's up? We got Steve Worthy in the chat. Let me go ahead and pop them up on the screen. So yeah, we got Elaine Dempsey in the chat. What's up? Sammy Superstar, the baller. That's what's up, man. Thank you all for joining us. We're going to be on here for about another 30 to 45 minutes, and then we're going to jump over to Clubhouse. So feel free to join us over there as well. So awesome. You know, a correlation that I saw between content creators, and it could just be my little small circle of content creators that I vibe with, but all of us worked at the bank. Last week, Nikki talked about how she worked at the bank. You know, my homeboy Two Socks worked at the bank. I worked at the bank. You worked at the bank. Like, what is it about the bank?
I think, hey, man, you know, it's like you go through, if you're going through grunt working kind of a stuff, it just becomes a simple transition between stand-up jobs and sit-down jobs. And the best sit-down jobs are at the bank. So it's like, who gonna pay? And I don't have to stand on my feet all day long.
Oh, my Lord.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, here come the bank. And you like, hey, man, because customer service ain't gonna do it. You know, and that's when you find out who you really are.
For real. And what you're made of. And you don't find out, and how saved you are as well. You're going to find out how saved you are.
Questionable days when you had me on those phones. Okay.
That is hilarious. Let me move this. I'm going to move this up because it's, our shirts are kind of making it, hard to read. All right. That's cool. That's dope. So what did you do at the bank, if you don't mind kind of going into that? What
sure.
Like,
so I went through working through credit card services and online banking type of things.
I did that. I was credit card services. Oh, my Lord.
Yep. So I used to work with the credit card department and then eventually transition into auto loan lending. So when somebody was getting a loan for their car, their paperwork, I would be the person calculating your income. I'd be the person going through checking your credit report and seeing what things are there to see what it's looking like. Can you really afford this car loan? And if so, then, you know, pushing that along. And then, but the cool thing with that is like I transitioned into the lien department. So making sure we secure the lien with getting our name on the title and all that kind of stuff. And some other stuff that comes on the back end of that. But for a long time, I really did that auto lending stuff. And so cool thing about being in that position is like you do get the opportunity to see your bare bones structure for people's houses. So there are a lot of people that you may admire their income per month or per year, but I see the black and white and what's really going on and what the house really looks like. And you know what I'm saying? Like the internals for stuff. And a lot of people would be struggling. So it was a unique opportunity to, you know, be able to help people at times.
Wow. That's amazing. Yeah. And another thing too, is just seeing, I know from my standpoint, you see everybody who's like, say there's like a business owner or they got this or they got that. But when you work at the bank and you really get to see their situation, it's like you see a whole lot of capping and flexing going on the internet, put it that way. Because it's like,
oh yeah, for sure.
You really
but you also see those that are doing it very well. And it's a conversation to be had with those people, you know? So even like from like interesting things from, you see people, you think about people that are living the dream, quote unquote. And so get those loans too. You know, coming in from California and, you know, LA and all this other different stuff and see just, they may be in a position to where it looks like they're living a dream, but, you know, the finances are kind of nightmarish.
Wow. That's crazy. That's good. That's real good. And that, like you said, that's a conversation to be had. Yeah, because
Right.
sometimes there's somebody who don't dress the part, look the part, or necessarily act the part, but their business is the part. And you like, hold on now,
Right.
tighten up, time out. So let's take us through you leaving the bank and that decision, and even coming to that realization. Take us through that. Nikki took us through that last week. I was like, wow. So I would love to hear your, rite of passage into content creation from the bank. I would love to hear that.
Well, I'd have to say it started, it wasn't necessarily the last day. It started like on day one. The whole goal from like, it wasn't like, oh, I'm just going to have a side thing while I'm also building my corporate career. That was never my goal. I wanted to make as much money at the bank as I could while I'm there to provide as much value as possible, but also making sure that whatever money that I'm getting, that I'm using that to my benefit for my business so I can grow and grow my company and eventually grow out of jobs. So when I got out of surgery, I came back to work and I still had stitches and I couldn't really do a lot. So, they gave me a bit of a break to, performance wise and stuff like that or whatever. I'm like, okay, well, what am I going to do with this time? And so it made you think differently, like I said. But for me, it made me work differently. I probably worked harder after for the bank simply because I wanted to hurry up and get done with my work so I could do what I wanted to do. So that looked like developing playlists on YouTube of stuff to watch, stuff to learn, taking notes, a whole playlist of podcasts to listen to for the day and stuff to take notes on. So when I got home, I can pick up from where I left off at work. So I would always have stuff that was going on for the bank on my computer screens and a little part of it that was for me or something in the background, unless I could have it on my phone. And then eventually draining the phone, here come battery banks. So I went through that process for years of, I started, Googling and researching and stuff like that. YouTube actually brought me my first mentor. And I was like, well, I suck at sales. And I'm like, obviously money is a part of getting free. And so I need to figure this out.
Yeah, for sure.
And so started, Googling and YouTubing, how to get better at selling and stuff like that. And I didn't want to do it in a way that seemed inauthentic to myself. Found a coach that I worked with for a long time, and it was amazing. And he was the person that got me started in video because he was like, well, you can't do this without being visible. So you need to go make a video today. Okay. I'm looking at him like, sir, you clearly don't know who I am. I recycle the same.
Who is this man?
Jeffrey St. Laurent.
Okay.
Jeffrey St. Laurent. Yeah. So Selling Coaching is his company. So shout out to Jeff. He's amazing.
Awesome.
And so he had his iPhone and he just had it like on a mic stand, kind of like, put a little piece of tissue or something, like it'll stand up. Like it was super gutter, but it's just like he built his business.
Wow.
Transitioning into online because he would speak with people like Jim Rohn and stuff like that. So he was a professional speaker and transitioned that. And he was like sharing how you can do heart-centered selling. And so I started learning from him and I downloaded his free thing or whatever. So going through the whatever, eventually hired him as a coach. And like, he told me to, do a video today. And I'm like, dude, I don't do videos at all. Like I don't even take pictures. But I thought about that in the moment. I didn't like go back and forth with him. Like that's my internal dialogue. And so in like a millisecond, I had all these thoughts and I'm like, you know what? I did not hire him for me to be the same. So I just said, okay, I'm going to do it. He's like, you going to do it? And I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to do it today. Walked every part of the house, front, backyard, everything. Eventually did like a 90-second video. And after I looked at that first video, I'm like, you know what? That wasn't too bad. Moving forward, it was. I'm like, I didn't think it didn't look as bad as I thought that it would.
Wow.
And eventually just like being super introverted, I just had to pretend whoever was going to see this video, which was going to be posted in a private Facebook group, were my friends. I knew none of these people, not one of them. And so I just had to pretend to get through the video.
Yeah.
And so in doing video, one problem always led to another problem. Like, well, why am I dark and it's plenty of sunlight behind me or whatever, not knowing stuff about lighting, audio, video. So every problem led to another question.
What year was this?
This was back in 2016.
Man,
2015. 2015, I had like surgery, come out of it enough to like recover. And so once I was done with recovery, then I was able to start in June 2016 was when I posted my first video.
Wow. June 2016 was when you posted your first video. It's 5 years later, right? Mm-hmm. Man, that's just remarkable because we're going to get to that was going to be my next set of questions. But go ahead. Not to interrupt. Go ahead. Yes.
No, yeah, but it's like, so he told me to start doing videos, and he gave me a challenge of like do 30 videos over the course of something like 90 days. It took me like 6 months.
Wow.
And so, just because like I had challenges still, so there are some days where I'm super medicated and I cannot do anything. I'm just, in the bed, I'm bedridden for a couple days. So I may be off work or whatever. And then again, you're highly medicated on pain relievers, muscle relaxers. You can't drive, you can't do anything. So I had to figure out a system that will work for me in my physical condition. Like my brain is functioning, my body isn't. So I can't do anything, but I didn't take that approach. So I was like, okay, if I physically can't do anything, the few minutes that I'm up to get something to eat or I have an idea, I just would keep journals and books and stuff so I can at least listen to audiobooks in the bed and just take notes. So when I would be physically up, I'm grinding all hell. Like
Wow.
I'm just going in.
Wow.
And so when I found that system for myself after, and I still use it to this day because it's still a reality.
Yeah.
So it's like, if I'm pumping, I'm grinding, I'm doing all the things like working and just, hustling, I'm physically able to. And sometimes I'm not, but I just have to push through. But if I'm not able to, that same system applies.
Wow.
So I just been doing that for the last 5 years.
Yeah. So, I mean, so there are times when, I think I heard you say this before too, there are times when you can't really go hard, but you do, you compensate in other ways to still be productive, and that's so smart. Cause I heard I was looking at some show or something, and it was like like a 700-pound man or something. And the doctor was like, you have to exercise. And he was like, I can't even get out of bed. Right. And he was like, the doctor he said something to the man that, let me get off this screen. Sorry. He said something to the man that I just like felt convicted with. He was like, the doctor was like, listen, if you can't get out this bed and walk or run or roll, then here are these dumbbells. I need you to lift your hands every day in this bed. And it was just so remarkable. He was like, well, that's not going to do nothing. That's not going to help me lose no weight. But it was. He was just lifting these dumbbells every day relentlessly. And then he got more strength and he somehow lost weight in his arms. And next you know, he was able to sit up. So now he's just sitting up in his bed. And then now he's able to get to the edge. And I was just amazing. You kind of reminded me of that. It's like you can always still be productive in some minor way. And sometimes on an outer, I don't mean to get into a rant, but sometimes productivity isn't what we see on the outer. You know what I'm saying? So many people, they correlate productivity to what they can see. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes the most productivity is a mental thing, right? It's an internal thing. So man, shout out to you for that, because it paid off. It's like I was making playlists. I was doing all these other things, watching videos, tutorials, but I was kind of like low key bedridden. So I didn't know that. So that's love, man.
Yeah, 100%, man. It's like, but that's the thing though. It's like you hear those stories, and I felt the same way before, because it's like, man, you see those remarkable stories that people go through, and it's just like, how? But I mean, like on some real stuff, like I said, it for real changes you when you have a life or death experience or, lifelong disease that you have to deal with in some capacity. It completely changes who you are and how you think about yourself. Either you're going to crush yourself and your dreams and everything that you thought that you were or could do or could become, or you find ways to get there.
Wow.
That's it. Either you find a way to get there or you're killing yourself internally. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
More than whatever the disease and stuff is. So it definitely is a mental game when you're dealing with like these debilitating diseases and stuff like that. I went for a walk just trying to get the mobility back. And it's like I was just walking to my parents' house or whatever, and I'm just walking and I had to stop. I was in so much pain. I'm just like, Dad, you got to come get me. I can't make it.
Wow.
So, you know what I'm saying? So it's stuff like that goes on. It's like I'm driving home and stuff is going crazy. And I call my mom, Dad, and I'm like, hey, I need somebody to come over. I need help. So that stuff still goes on today. It doesn't, it just is a part of life for right now. You know what I'm saying?
That's amazing. Man, shout out to you for that. So I just want to show some love to the comments. We have Charles Jackson Media. I'm sitting here tweaking with my comments and I done mess it up. So I'll come back to that. But
all good,
Charles
brother.
Jackson Media, what's up, brother? I'm honored that you would come on the stream. We got F. Humphreys. Is her name? What's her name? Is her first name? I want to say it's.
Are you talking about Keely?
Keely, yes. I was about to say Kelly, but I know it's not Kelly. It's Keely.
Yeah, Keely.
Gotcha. All right. Shout out to Keely. Shout out to Chris Gloss. Hey, champions. You know it's him when he say that. And I done
100%.
messed up my comments, man. I'll come back
That's
and
all
put these
good.
on the screen. Shout out to Kirk Nugent in the house. He's gonna be on the show next month, man. Shout out to bro, man. He's a genius
Kirk,
out here in these internet streets, man.
Kirk is
That's what
that deal. The
he
good
is,
bishop.
man.
The good bishop.
The good bishop. Cool. All right. So I find it quite remarkable. I'm gonna be honest with you. I find it quite remarkable that you knew nothing about video, right, in 2016, and now you are like you're the woman when it comes to video, and it's like, how do I want to ask this question? Like, how long did it take you to feel like I can now begin to coach other people in video? That's the first part of the question. And the second part is, did you ever have any imposter syndrome? Like, man, I can't really tell them about video. I'm kind of learning myself. You know what I'm saying? And the reason I ask that is because I have people ask me about video all the time. And I know the basics. And I know I could even probably do YouTube videos or tutorials or whatever. I know I could, because I know I know probably even the basics is way more than the average person that knows. But I deflect all the time. Like, I'll send them to your channel or I'll, and it's like, did you ever have that? Like, man, I don't really want it. I don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, help me out with that.
No. And that's not like I was so of an incredible person or something, but you also have to think about part of the journey that's not been shared yet, which is in 2010, I started my personal development journey and starting working with mentors, just dealing with getting rid of those old mentalities, those old limiting beliefs that you have about yourself. And there's always other levels. So I had 6 years of just solid nonstop personal development. So I had other things to challenge. Like, I'm like, I still need to work on this sales things. I still need to work on this other stuff. And then video was something, it wasn't something I would say more so video was a discovery. Video was more of an uncovering. So some kind of a gifting, some kind of a something that I was supposed to do, because when I really prayed about it and I asked God about it, I'm like, I don't know about this video stuff. He's like, you need to do video. And I know for a fact for me personally that I'm getting that download from God when it's something I totally don't want to do. And video was that thing I did not want to do. And so like when I started coaching with my coach, and the goal was for me to get coaching clients, it was only a few clients in before I realized, like, I want to talk about video. Like, I don't want to do the small business stuff. Like, I just was so unpassionate about it. And so it just wind up being a thing that bled into already the coaching sessions there, because I'm like, okay, once you get the company going or set up and stuff like that, you need to start doing video. It wasn't like can I do this or can I share? It was like, because I knew how much frustration it was just even learning to ask the right questions to get to the right solutions when it comes to video. So I didn't feel like I couldn't share with them. I felt more encouraged to share with them whatever it is that I had learned. So by the time it fully transitioned over into only video and no small business development tips and like stuff like that with understanding IRS type stuff or whatever, the channel at the time wanted it. Anytime I post anything about videos, they own it. Anytime I post anything about maybe personal development, small business type stuff, wasn't into it. So the community had shifted as well to wanting to hear that. So when I saw the analytics at the time for where my channel was, which is under 300 subscribers, then just looking at the analytics that I had, it showed everything was leaning towards video. And then too, I had that internal charge in my prayer time and stuff like that, like do more video and to, help my local church out with it and stuff. So I didn't feel like that limiting belief about it. And then as far as any kind of imposter syndrome or something like that, nothing like that around the videos. It was more so like quality of the video, not necessarily my position in place to be in the video space. So because it's only like white males, there's nobody that looks like me. So who's my competition? Just me up here. You know what I'm saying? So other than quality of learning how to do something with the camera, that's the only like comparison that I had. Like, can I be that good? Can I learn that thing? Or how long will it take to develop that skill? But skills are learnable. So unless it's a God-given talent or gift that you have, then all skills are learnable. And I had learned that already. So I'm like, it's just going to take time, and I'm just going to keep grinding videos out until I get better to the videos I see in my head. I can produce them like that to where I'm kind of at that place today. And it's always another level, but I never felt any kind of imposter syndrome against being in the space, because there literally was nobody that looked like me.
Wow, that's phenomenal. Yeah, it's fun. It's crazy because Tom Buck, he alluded to that. And it was just so timely that you were on the stream, and he was like, yeah, you know, it's, but how many more white middle-aged males do we need in this space? And he was like, I would love to see, you know, a black girl or a Mexican girl. And I was like, hey, speaking of that, we have Diana right here. It was just like,
I know.
it was perfect.
But, you know, I never even thought about that, honestly, when I got started. To be completely honest, I never thought about being like a black woman in tech kind of a deal. Because I didn't know the culture of YouTube like that. I was still learning. So whenever you search for something and those people come up, you just saw the same people. I would see Sean Cannell. I would see Roberto Blake. I would see some other faces that aren't around anymore. Of course, you see Daryl Eves, Tim Schmoyer and stuff like that. But that was pretty much it. And that's changed now over the years somewhat, but still not in the camera space for real. You got Take Me Out. You got Zaylee Barclay. And I don't know. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like,
I thought you was coming with some more.
No, it's like, you know what I'm saying? Like you got Halise, that's dope. And she does stuff like that. She's at halise.mp4 or something like that on Instagram. But other than those like three that come top of mind, there really aren't a whole lot like us, and still nobody that's doing it for real in the camera space.
Wow. That's phenomenal, man. I love that. Shout out. We're going to give some shout outs real quick. Shout out to Rich Graham in the building. We got my dog Jiza Lee in the building. Jai, what's up, brother? We got Frankie G in the building. Frankie just actually took my photos that I posted today.
Those were clean.
Yeah, man.
Those were clean.
He got that A7S3 though, so I was like, bruh, really, bruh? You know, you got them friends that be like, yeah, you know, come over, man. I got a little something, you know, but they don't really know. Maybe they do know. And you come over there and they got an A7S3 with a Tamron. I'm like, what? Huh? What? This what we doing?
Got hooked up for the hook. Hey, man, that's a beautiful equation for any kind of photos or video.
Yeah. Well, and speaking of Sony Gang, I just wanted to let you know, sis, I am on Sony Gang now. I'm not.
Oh, what?
Well, I'm not officially. I'm not officially streaming with it yet.
Yeah, for sure.
Speaking of
it was the same way with me when I first got started with the Sony. You know, because I'm like, I know this, so when I need to do what I need to do, let me use what I know, and we'll continue right after these messages.
We gonna figure it out, okay?
Okay.
We gonna figure it out. Yeah, that's awesome. So cool, man. Time is just flying. It's 9:37. Okay, so we got to really get into the nitty gritty. All right, cool. So now you start your channel. I came into your channel around 3,000 subscribers. May have been less, to be honest with you, but you know, you were somebody actually put in here too. I'm gonna put this on here just cause, you know, sis, I gotta do it. Said Diana helped me choose my Canon M50 for live shows. I was looking on YouTube and I found her video. She helped me a lot. Thank you, Sister Diana. I mean, that is very similar to how I came across Diana. Same exact thing. I'm looking on, like, YouTube had like blessed you in the search arena. Like if you type in M50, you were the first like 10 videos that come up. Like you had killed that whole search query. So talk to us about that. I mean, would you say that was a big part of your channel growth, that M50 series?
For sure. It still is. And I'm very proud of that series. And I'm very honored that the series has done well. You know, we joke a lot about that, but it's like, I really don't care what rocket ship that I'm on, just the fact that I'm going in outer space. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's all that matters. Like, I'm focused on the destination and I'm not focused on the vehicle. And I think sometimes a lot of people we joke about that, but that really doesn't bother me. I'm honored because I worked really hard to do well. And all I was doing was working to put the things that I had learned to work for me.
Wow.
And I had so again, that was a series that I developed working at the bank.
Wow.
So I got my little incognito tab open that I'm going to delete the deleted of the history for, you know, and I'm researching.
That's hilarious.
You know what I'm saying? I'm researching. So I sat through, and the way that I developed that series is that I sat through and I thought about the pain points that I was having. And I was going through like even Shalene Johnson's Marketing Impact Academy and stuff like that. And of course, everybody knows I've, you know, worked with Think Media and Sean Cannell and Heather Torres, and, you know, they're incredible team there. But before then, and always has been a student of theirs from day one. So putting the things that I learned to work for me, in addition to other stuff that I learned from other channels and things like that. And so I was like, okay, so VidPro Mom, shout out to her. So she did a GoPro 30-day series or something like that. And at the end, and also on her email list, she said, I challenge you in your niche, find something that you can teach and talk about for 30 days straight and help people to do that. So I was like, cool. So I took on the challenge of doing something that I could talk about. And I was like, well, I just got this camera. I didn't want to talk about the Panasonic ones because I'm still trying to find what works. And I'm like, I love Panasonic, but it's some things that I don't think this will be great for everybody. So I was like, I think universally this will be this NVIDIA will be cool to help people, and it's easy for people to learn and get on boarded with camera stuff. And so I sat through, researched a bunch of videos, a bunch of topics, a bunch of things that people were searching for, and some answers were cloudy, some weren't quite there. And the difference with, I think, my content versus anybody else's content that's out there is because at the end of the day, I wasn't a photographer talking about this camera, and I wasn't a videographer talking about this camera. I was an entrepreneur that was trying to learn video, that was finding a difficulty finding the right information, because there's also those that are just teaching you to be quote unquote a YouTuber. And I'm like, I'm just a business owner that needs to learn to do video and then get back to the focus of my business. And I only need to learn the camera in certain things. So using certain jargon is not helpful.
Wow.
So the video simplified concept that the channel runs on, that is like the lifeblood of the content, came birthed out of all of the research and the time that I took developing like that series to make sure the language was right, that the pain points address the right thing, and then producing something that I think will do exceptionally well for as long as the camera is relevant.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, they just released the M50 Mark II that I got. So I think that's going to be driving even more traffic, to that series. So, yeah, I know at one point you were talking about like, listen, I'm like, don't ever in your life. Don't ever.
It's only because that was during like the pandemic, and I felt so bad with people buying, like I saw people buying like $600 capture cards. It's like $100 and just like completely getting ripped off and stuff like that. And I saw people buying the wrong thing when the right thing was available. And I just didn't want people to be misled. And you know what I'm saying? It's like, because it was such a horrific experience for people to go through. It's fine. Even that series is relevant now, because if you buy the camera and you're using it under a certain use case, it's fine.
Perfect.
But it was people that were buying it for the wrong use case and the wrong information. And so that added to it. And it would be so disheartening to get an email, somebody say, I bought this camera because of you, but I'm having these problems. And I'm like, yeah, you may have bought it based on that thing, but did you listen to what I said in several videos? Like, if you're doing this, then this is okay. But people they didn't have enough time to process that. So I just felt really bad for people that were getting ripped off and stuff like that. And I just didn't want to contribute to it. That's all. I really just didn't want to contribute to it.
Hey, like you told me, you said, do I got your wallet? Am I in your pocket? So I took that.
That's had to be the conversation though, too, but unfortunately that's part of the education and the positives and the negatives of YouTube being content is evergreen. And so the negative of that is content is evergreen. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? So you have to have you have to be searching the right things and stuff like that. Otherwise, whatever you're looking for, you'll find it, good, bad, or otherwise.
Wow. Are you going to do any more series? I can.
100%.
What series?
I'm working through the Sony cameras right now. So A6400 is going to have its own dedicated thing. The ZV-1 is going to have its own dedicated thing. A6600 is going to have its own dedicated thing. So like, I'm just going to be pretty much making sure you are taken care of no matter what camera you pick up that I believe is good for my audience.
That's lit, man. Love it. Love it. Yeah, I want to do some. I was thinking about maybe a Rodecaster Pro series, or I don't know.
Yep. That too. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, but
you're doing something like that, right?
Yeah, but here's the thing though. It's like, it can be a ton of series and stuff out there, but there's always people that are in the world for you to teach and for you to help.
Say that
because
again,
otherwise,
please.
You know what I'm saying? It's like otherwise. And that's why I don't feel like there's no competition for real. It's enough for everybody to eat.
Yes.
Because there were people that were suffering trying to learn video because somebody was a photographer. Whereas for that person that was getting started in photography, it was a blessing to them. So in some respects, you should always be attracting and detracting people and rejecting people. And some people may not vibe with the video simplified concept because they're trying to go super granular with certain things. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, whatever your vision and focus is, God didn't give you a vision if he didn't have people for you to serve. You know what I'm saying?
Wow. Shout out to Kirk for telling me to turn my mic up. People won't say nothing. I did a whole interview with Brian G and my mic was low. Nobody said nothing. Jeez.
You sound good on my end, so
You know what
it
I'm
must
saying?
be
But
the
I sound
out export.
I sound good on my end too, but obviously
It must be the export to the community, whatever that is. So yeah,
all good.
I feel you.
But yeah, I even got rebuked the other day from like one of my mentors because they was like, a lot of times people ask me questions and I could do a video or I could do a whatever, but it's like I'll just like I said, I'll just send them to you, like you guys, Doc, boom, boom, boom. But what you said hit home because you just said like what he said. He was like, you have an audience that's designed for you. So you're going to be able to teach something different than somebody else. Not that they teach it bad, but if somebody comes to you, or if your community is built around your style of communication, then give them what they're asking for. So I was like, I really got to get out here and start doing like camera reviews and stuff. I mean, I could do it, but it's like, it's just so easy to send somebody else a link to something that's already up. But I think as a content creator, you do have to at some point grab the bull by the horns. And when somebody inbox you, hey, what about this? Okay, let me put that on my list of videos to do. You know what I'm saying? Let me ask you this. What is the line as a content creator between share somebody else's video or make your own video about that? Do you have any like something because a lot of times stuff will come up that'll take us off track on a bigger purpose. Like how do you not let that take you off track if you're like, oh, that's a good video topic, but I already got this over here. And like, what's your concept on that?
It's never really about my plans, because my plans are going to change based on the needs of my people. And so it's kind of like if you think about I study a lot of history. And so if you think about any of the history of kings and queens, when a king or king speaks, his word becomes law. So you have to be careful of the things that you say, whether the things you say you're going to do or the things that you say in even a video, because then it becomes law. So if I'm saying that I'm going to do something, it's for a specific reason, or it's for a specific to stay in a specific vein of content to address a certain pain point. And the thing with distractions is that all distractions are equal. So I have to be very clear on the purpose of who I'm serving, why I'm serving them, and what their current needs and pain points are. And every video idea just about is a good video idea, unless it doesn't align with the pain and the purpose of who I'm serving and what they need from me. And if it adds to that, and if it's a revelation on like they need help with this, then I'll take it and run with it. And I've been known to do a video in a day, shoot, edit, record a video in a day, because I got a DM the night before on Instagram. Next morning it pops off. A lot of those videos, like last year, were those videos. Well, what about this and this, now, or whatever? Like, you know what? You're right. I didn't even think about that. It'll be up tomorrow. Wow. And so, but it has to be in alignment. And so you have to think like from a point of creating content, you can make a video about anything. But that doesn't mean that you should. So because you can do something doesn't mean that you should. So I'm okay with telling people no and maybe hurting their feelings, even if there isn't a video out there to serve them, simply because it's not just like a content it's beyond producing a video. I have to think about the core reason of who I'm trying to help and what they need from me right now.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, because at the end of the day, one person, and I know this just for being like in marketing or branding or anything like that, that one person, their comment or their feedback actually represents a whole section of people, right? So if somebody comes to you and say, hey, I need to know about this, then it represents like probably many more people who are scared to ask you, right? Many more people who don't know how to ask you, it's like, so like you said, doing those videos popped off because they represented a whole, class of people who wanted to know the information. So that's amazing.
You gotta know the difference between a loud minority and, like that soft spoken person that comes up to, be the line with a whole bunch of people behind them. Like it's a whole sea of them. Like, yeah, ask. Like, wow. They have those feelings, but that's your job as, a content creator, depending on, and everybody got a purpose. Some people just do it for fun. It's more than that for me. So it's like, but that's your job as an educator. You know what I'm saying? Like, I need to know what hurts before you come to the doctor's office. You know what I'm saying? I need to know your symptoms before you able to fully identify them. So that just comes from staying in the trenches, staying in, right? Like leading the charge from like a militaristic type standpoint.
Like you said, keep your finger on the pulse. I love when you say that. Keep your finger on the pulse.
Exactly, because the numbers aren't going to lie to you. So it's like when you keep, like you said, when you keep your hand on the pulse of your people, then you know what things that are they're dealing with them. It's very bad for you to go into a doctor's office and tell them the things that are wrong with you, have the symptoms and the sign that these things are wrong for you, and they like, man, I really like your new haircut. You and they that straight edge razor, they got you cleaned up. You like, brother, my foot about to fall off. Help me, help. Like what's the white coat for? You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, so it's that same thing. So, that's what happened last year for real. I had those live streaming videos researched a year and a half ago, just sitting on them in TubeBuddy, sitting on them in a Google Doc.
Wow.
It just wasn't time for it because the pain point wasn't there. The interest wasn't there.
Yeah.
So I was just like, ain't no point in doing it right now. Pandemic hit. Everybody needs this. All I need to do is sit down and record. Notes is there. Tags is there. Research is there, make a thumbnail, and it's done. So, you know what I'm saying? It's just, and then too, creating a library of content is like, so sometimes you're creating content because they haven't asked yet. And you have to, again, in part of being an educator, you have to kind of have this syllabus of content together, if you will, of where are they going and what problems are they about to encounter that I now need to have ready for them. And so that's why I bought the Shure SM7B and the Rodecaster Pro. I did not need, personally, neither one of these. You know what I'm saying? Like, I could still rock my Q2U just fine. However, knowing the needs of my community and where they're going and what's about to happen this year and next year, or, you know what I'm saying, where things are trending, it makes sense for me to, one, be educated on it, have gone the way, and, you know what I'm saying, so I can save you the hassle when you get here. So the GPS, somebody got to map out the GPS before you put in a destination. So that's your job as a content creator when you're educating people.
Wow. Man, this interview went way too fast because there's so much stuff I couldn't get into. We only got like 8 minutes now, and I try to be punctual. We're going to jump in the clubhouse. Yeah. You want to hit the club with us, Diana?
Yeah, I'm good. Club? Yeah, I'm down for it.
I'm going to hit the club. Dope.
Yeah, I'm going to hit the club. I got my book in the club, but I'm there. I'm there. Give me a cranberry juice straight on the rocks.
I thought I was the only one. I thought I was the only one. Go up to the bar, be like, can I get a Shirley Temple? You joking, right? No, I'm dead serious.
You're
Shirley
dead serious.
Temple, please. Anyways.
Give me my straw, doc.
I love that. We could talk about so much because we kind of have parallel kind of trajectories from just coming up, band. We talked about band before. We were both band kids and stuff, and all that. I'm gonna invite you now back to the show in probably like a long time from now, but I'm sending you the invite now. And maybe next year if we're doing this, that'd be dope. Shout out to you for hitting 12,000 subscribers. We cannot get off the stream without congratulating you on 12,000. It was just like yesterday I did the 10,000 congratulations video for you, and now you're at 12,000. So on this current trajectory, you're gonna be killing. You're already crushing it. So what's coming up? I know you got a lot of stuff coming up. Tell us what you got coming up.
Well, I had to reschedule my video content masterclass, but for a good reason. And so I just came back from California, which was an incredible opportunity with Social Media Examiner, their company. And so you'll see me, you'll see me featured on their channel very soon with a series of videos that I hope to open up a new sector of content on my channel. Things I usually teach about, but things that, again, it makes a nice segue into that. Yeah. So I'll be producing some new series of content when it comes to YouTube marketing specifically.
Wow.
Using content creation as that tool. So the content masterclass that I was going to launch right before then, I had to put off, and it worked out because I had the opportunity and just the honor to sit down in Michael Stelzner's office and talk. And it's just like, what is your plans? What's going on? I'm talking through them. And then I'm getting ready to go out to Washington to the Copywriting Academy with the incredible Ray Edwards.
Wow.
So I'll be doing some work with him and get some more advice and things like that. So I'm a lot of great things on the horizon. That's just like in the next couple of weeks. So I'm super honored.
So you're going to be doing a series on their channel. Is that what I heard?
Yeah, on the Social Media Examiner.
Dope. So make sure you work it out in the deal that somehow it's going to happen anyway, but somehow there's a direct link from that channel over to your channel. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, it already is.
Okay,
it already
good,
is.
good. You know what I'm saying?
They're very honorable. It already is.
Dope. I love to see that. So, I do believe, that has the, because I always thought to myself, especially about your channel, it's like, what's going to be that thing that blows Diana's channel up? I know it's going to come, but it's always good to be like, I wonder what's going to be that thing. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes it's, I won't say weird stuff, but it's like just these little tweaks that make a channel just take off. I've seen so many channels take off since the pandemic, and maybe that's one of those things that's like propels you to that, that silver play button, which could absolutely happen if you're going to be like a major influencer on that channel, correct?
Well, I don't. We'll see. I've done a series of videos now, so there's an opportunity and a door for there to be more, but whatever that opportunity is never like, I think sometimes we get the misconception like it has to be huge for it to make a huge impact. And sometimes it's the real small pebble.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I
literally just said that. Sometimes it's like these little things that just makes a big difference. That's awesome.
100%. So I don't know what that may lead to further. That, like, I've done some 2-hour intensive training with their company and for their company for the YouTube Marketing Summit. I've been on their podcast and their talk show a couple times now. So it just is building and developing a very nice relationship that, again, is weird because you go back 5 years ago, I'm sitting in the cubicle and I got this man popping off in the earbuds, like listening to him, listening to Ray Evans, Cliff Ravens, Crabs. I'm listening to them all, and so to have these personal relationships is here's my thing. If it does nothing for my channel, simply off the fact of just building and developing a relationship with people that I have been mentored by their books and content years before I even met them, is honoring enough for me.
Yeah, that's huge. That's super dope, man. Yeah, cool. So it's just so much stuff now. We only got 4 minutes, but there's so much stuff that we could get into. I know next time we do this. So let me ask you this: the masterclass. You already know you did 2 coaching sessions with me, and I always like, you got to get some type of masterclass because it's something that I kind of want to create too. I know you're going to create it. I think Nikki want to create something, but I really see a need for like content creation, like step-by-step content creation, some type of, not format, but like some type of, what's the word? Like a
systematic approach. Yeah. Framework. Yeah.
Yes. Sure. That's the word. A systematic approach, a specific framework to content creation. I know you're going to create something like that. I know Nikki could do something super dope like that. I want to create something like that, a little lower level, but it would just do so much good in this content creation on these internet streets. If somebody could see something, because we're all visual. It's like, okay, so this is what you need to do. Create this long form video, chop that up with this app or whatever, send it on this platform, format it like if we could see that.
Here's the thing, but here's the thing though. It's like we can templatize it. And it's like, I think that will help. But a lot of times, Eliseo, just gonna be completely honest, a lot of people want a systematic approach because they just don't want to get started. So if they can't find an answer, then that means they don't have to get started being the solution in whatever it is that they're supposed to do. Yeah. And so sometimes you got to do it without a system. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you build and here's the thing, what I'm going to put in the master class is the system that I've learned and developed and a culmination of other things that I've learned because it was no system. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and here's the thing. So you could buy the system and you can buy a process and it still may not work for you. And you may have to carve your own path. And I think sometimes we get afraid that our shovel's going to get dirty. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So
it's for the dirt. The shovel's for the dirt.
It's for the dirt.
Yeah,
it's for the dirt.
And that's true because as you move forward and put your hands to the plow, so to speak, since we're going with the farming analogies, you do literally carve out the process. And a lot of times, depending on the business or the goal of what you're trying to do with your content, that process naturally just looks different anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I think it's just maybe that getting to the point of carving out that niche or whatever lane that is. I think maybe a upfront type process may be beneficial for certain people to be like, well, you at least need to do this. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. I think it's always, no matter what we do, it's always going to be guidelines. And I think it will be helpful to see like the application of what that looks like break down my actual process and show all the intricacies. But I just don't want people to feel like my way is the only way kind of a deal. It's like, be cool with carving out something
Boom.
because that's the road you're supposed to carve. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. Man, sorry. I'm getting out the old iPad now. So
yeah, you still ain't got an iPhone, Eliseo. You've been playing us the whole time. just hopping in Clubhouse with a pad. It just
man,
we thought we was gonna change lives.
How did you get your you see how when I come close to my microphone with my earbud, it makes that feedback. Am I doing something wrong on my Rodecaster Pro, or is it just a feedback?
So here's the thing. It's definitely probably certain things because I don't have any feedback issues with that. However, I don't use those kind of headphones either, but Doc is relatively close and I've never heard that as well. Well, I would say check XLR cable. A good XLR cable is important.
I got the Mogamis over here, so
okay. Well, I mean, like, it's like, because here's the thing, the SM7B is shielded well. So if something like I got, a TRS cable, I have a Bluetooth mouse and keyboard and my phone, laptop, and all, like, it's enough stuff around. If something was going to fire it off, it'd fire it off. So I don't know. At that point, you just kind of have to break it down one thing at a time, replace the earbuds and see if it may just be something with those that's triggering it, because most of them are essentially the same, but it could be something, a shielding issue or something with those. So I just don't know.
I'm gonna hold on. Last time I did this, remember I plugged in with Nikki and my whole computer shut down in the middle of her closing. So
yeah,
that was weird. But I'm gonna plug it in anyway. Screw it.
Okay, we here for it.
If it shuts down, I'm in Clubhouse.
Hey, it
says a software update is required to connect Eliseo's iPad. Would you like to download? No,
just say no.
Yeah, not now. All right. So I guess. All right. So let me open up a camera overlay. Boom. Oh, shout out to the Nixons. Can y'all see my shirt?
Oh,
creators on the come up, and they did your shirt too.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. Create, post, repeat.
Bam.
Man, the most brilliant freaking company in the whole gosh darn world.
Yeah. You didn't? Did you not get your creators on the come up shirt yet?
I ain't checked my mailbox. So it could be in there right now. I just haven't checked the mailbox.
Not right now.
I just got back from California yesterday.
Say it again, sis. Say it again.
I just got back from California yesterday. I'm telling you something, man. Them couple days out there in San Diego was the bee's knees Hall of Fame.
Man,
it really was. It was my first time in California as well, but I'm glad that it's some states that I haven't been to, just because it's like when you go, you want to go right or in the way you want to or whatever. I couldn't have planned it no better, nor did I even plan it this time for real, but it just like to go, like when you work a job, to go someplace sucks, but to go like because you in your purposeful work. And like, you know what I'm saying? Like it's a whole other life. Like I was talking to Doc when I was out there. I was just driving around. He's like, "Where are you going?" I was like, "I don't know. I'm just like, shoot, I got this car. I'm just going."
Yeah.
And driving everywhere. So,
wow.
So
you hear that?
I do. Man, I do.
And I'm like actually kind of back. Anyways, I can't spell after party. What? I gotta figure that out. That's that old. What do you call it? The church gonna have friends and family day, and the deacon that ain't been to church in eight. No, I got the audio. I got the speakers from upstairs. Yo, sis, you have to. Man, we just talking now. I'm opening up the room, y'all. So sorry about that. We having a moment right now. But you have to do some type of comedy thing, sis. You are way too funny. You are way too funny out here in these internet streets not to have some type of parody, something. You got to do that, man.
Man, listen, you haven't met my family. I'm like in my family, my immediate family, but I got cousins to where they just have everybody crying on the floor. Like that's how we grew up though. Like it's enough of us that it's just like, I couldn't wait till the time when I could be older. It's like, cause when you little, you old enough to sit around, but you ain't old enough to talk. So It's like I could sit around and listen. And so I was like, man, I just can't wait for the day.
How do I unlock this?
Unlock what?
The room. See, it has a lock on it. Do I click on the lock?
In the top right, those three dots.
Okay.
Did you start it? Or did you start the room public or no?
Well, let me end room. Search rooms. Let me just end room.
You can do to let the visitors in. Okay.
I'm gonna just start room. Okay, but it's in my club. Can I start?
Yeah. So if it's in your club, then it's exclusive to your club versus it being just like a public room for whomever on Clubhouse. So it still should have that on there because it's that little bit of an exclusivity.
Oh, but I can't make it unlocked.
It shouldn't be. It shouldn't have to be. Like even if I go on here and create one and click start a room.
So it will still be in the hallway though, and everybody will be able to see it.
It will be in the hallway for those that are in your club to
in
see.
my club.
Right.
All right.
Right. So mine's is doing the same thing. So if I have my my club on here and like I just started a room, it has the lock on there.
Okay.
So yeah.
All right. Well, we'll just keep the lock on. We'll see how it go. Set topic. Let's go. All right. I guess jump in there, Diana. Let me see if I can find you. Oh, there you go.
Got you.
All right.
All right. So I'm in here.
All right. All right. Well, hold on. Let me make you a moderator real quick. Make moderator. All right, guys. Well, thank you for hanging out with us on the live stream tonight. I thank you, sis, for pulling up. You already know it's all love. Don't send me a bill after the show.
No such thing.
All right. Well, hey, we're finna in the live stream now, so y'all jump inside the clubhouse. We're gonna be on there till 10:30, and we're really punctual. So y'all come on in there. Let's top it up. Let's have a good time. Love y'all. Peace. Let me close that. End stream. Finish.